what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So, a hardworking man, let's say your kids were with you, all right? Let's say any hardworking men out there who does have custody or not custody of their kids. It is harder for them still to get food stamps. A single father cannot get food stamps. But yet a woman with 20,000 babies, and I know that's an exaggeration, can get food stamps anytime she wants.
But let me stop you though. I see where you're going. And a lot of the men out there, we appreciate where you're going. But there's this too, though. And this really fucking pisses me off. You also get a hardworking mom out there too. Or dad. We've done this too. But hardworking mom out there. She's got two kids she's supporting. She's busting out. She's working 3 jobs. But DCFS gets called because she ain't around. Of course she's not around. She's working 3 fucking jobs. Now she's prideful about those 3 jobs. But pride got in the way DCFS looks at it. That's the way the DCFS looks at it. Pride got in the way. You should have asked for help. No, motherfucker. You should leave them the fuck alone. They're doing what they're supposed to do. They're working 3 fucking jobs to support 1 to 2 children. Leave them the fuck alone.
Well, I was going on it with I was going on in a different angle than what you were going to.
No, I appreciate where you're coming from, but don't forget too, though, women, they're not all bad. You guys are not all that bad. No, I know that,
but I'm just saying, for instance, I know somebody who has 6 kids, who has a 6-figure, if not a 7-figure income, and is still getting food stamps. And her husband has a full-time job.
Well, let me go a little bit off base here, just a tad bit. It does have to do with it.
I don't think it's fair.
Not. I have a couple of friends, Heather and Andrew. If you're watching this, by the way, big shout out.
Who?
Heather and Andrew. We met them when we were living in an apartment in Quincy. But they moved from Florida. Now, if you ever been to Florida, to live there for one, you got to have really good fucking pay. Well, they were driving this spiffy out. I can't remember what car it is, but it was spiffy. She comes down here to Quincy, her and her husband do. She's on the job for 1 day. And inside of that job, well, she worked there longer. But in the first day, her coworker comes up and says, "Hey, by the way, nice car. Yeah. Is your husband a drug dealer?" Bitch, please. Bitch, please.
Yeah.
They busted their butt off. They moved from fucking Florida, and everything on Florida is fucking expensive. Of course she has nice shit.
And another thing
But because she has nice shit and she moves somewhere else, all of a sudden you're going to just think her husband's dealing drugs? Bullshit. I tell you what he does, folks. He works at Pizza Hut. Yeah. That's what he does. And they're still paying off that car payment. That man still pays his child support too. Well, I think he does. I think now he just earned custody of his son back. But that man was busting his ass for someone to come up and say, "Hey, look, does your husband deal drugs just because he got a nice fucking car? Are you fucking kidding me? Man, move the fuck on. Are you that fucking socialized? Are you that institutionalized? Come on."
Another thing too, getting a little bit off subject, but and this could be for another video, talk about weight loss, because I'm going through that. Society makes people, hold on, how do I want to say this?
I think you're right on. Keep going.
Society makes people look a certain way to other people.
And actually, society has changed. Its point of views have changed.
It has.
I always say this. If you actually look back, go back to the Viking Age. I love this. I love it. Why? Because back then, when a homie shows up and his woman is big, that man will look at his homie and say, "Damn, you got a good fucking wife there. Motherfucker, you fed. You take care of." Back then, that was a status statement. If you had a big woman, fuck yeah, you were like Donald Trump.
What?
Back then, you were like Donald Trump. You were sitting high on the hog then.
Yeah.
You had a big woman. That was a compliment. And we have now changed that in society. Weight shouldn't have shit to do with nothing.
In some countries, the bigger you are, the richer you are. I mean, That's true. Look
Well,
at
until you
Nigeria.
become president, but.
Well, yeah, I know, but.
I'm just feeding up bullshit there, folks. I'm just feeding up bullshit.
Anyways, I just think that society should not have a say-so in what people do. Like me, okay, like, say for instance, okay, yeah, I'm a big girl, but I'm also taking the steps I need to lose weight. Society doesn't see that. Society still looks at me as, oh, well, she's fat. They don't look at me as a person. They look at me as, oh my god, she's heavy, she's fat, she's ugly, whatever, you know? And going back to depression, that's where some of my depression comes from too. And I'm not losing weight for anybody. I'm doing this for myself. But still, the comments of that still hurt.
And you do bring up an excellent point without knowing you brought it up. And this is this. But I'm thankful for it because I get to do stuff like this. I get to shoot these videos. I love it. But mainstream and social fucking media have a lot to play in our daily lives. She does a lot. She'll watch a video and go, oh my god, I'm not doing well. Why? Well, they said this and this is what they're doing. Baby, fuck that. Don't worry about that.
One thing that my husband and my dad, I am going to call him my dad because he is like my dad. Like, I will always refer to him as my dad. I'm not going to say his name, but my husband and my dad, we have had many conversations. And they said, you know what? Live your life the way you live. Forget what anybody else says. This is your life. And if they don't like it, too bad. Like, I go to the Y a lot. And there's older women there. And everybody's like, oh, can you trust her by herself? What's that matter if he can trust me by myself? The fact of the matter is, I'm doing this for me. I don't care what anybody else thinks. Well, I mean, I do, but I don't. Your opinion matters.
She's going to get mad now. Watch this, but she's going to get mad because she hates this saying a lot. But check out my last video I did, guys, with you do you. I always tell my wife that a lot. Just go do you. And don't worry about anybody else.
Yeah, I don't really get mad. It's like, I feel, and this is another thing. Here's where my depression really kicks in. When you compliment me, I don't see that.
Yeah.
Like, when you tell me, oh, you're beautiful. No, I'm not. I don't see that.
And then I'll go 2 days and I get, why didn't you tell me beautiful? Well, you didn't care about the last few days, so I figured like, fuck it.
But, no, I'm just saying, society should not have a role in our lives. Society should just let us be us. Let us do what we want to do. And I'm not saying take a gun and out there and murder somebody. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying do your own thing. Be who you are, because that's I've learned that
society needs to quit being so goddamn judgmental.
Yes.
Don't worry about someone else's doing, because trust me on this, folks. Whatever someone else is going through, they either are or not doing as bad as you are. But I guarantee you one thing, though. At the end of the day, you're probably doing a whole lot better than that other fucking person.
My adopted father always told me, he's like, I want you to be you, but I don't want you to go out there and get in trouble. I'm not going to just go out of my way to get in trouble. I don't do that. Yes, I do go have fun. I'm not having wild parties, or we're not having, all these people over, But I do what I do, and he does what he does. I mean, sometimes we do things together. Sometimes we do things on our own. But we're doing our own thing.
By the way, I do want to say right now, while I got the time since you brought it up, really do appreciate you dealing and supporting me with my channel. I really do appreciate it. I know it's rough on you. Fuck that shit. Stick my hand. But no, I do. It's not easy on my wife when I come out here, because
especially when you talk about subject so deep that I
just
recently went through. Yeah.
My wife's like, why do you do that? It's like, maybe it's called Rant, Rave in America for a reason. We dive into hardcore subjects where we do not stay away from them.
Sometimes I don't like talking about deep stuff like that, because it's just, I don't know, I don't like talking about my feelings, or I'm a very, how do I put that? I can write what I'm feeling. I'm not a verbal person. I'm more of a pen and paper person. I can express myself through writing more than I can verbalizing.
You're more behind closed doors.
Yes. I was raised that way though. Whenever I felt something, like I never really showed it in public when I was younger. I'd always wait till I was home. I guess
How,
because that's like my safe.
how much of your upbringing do you, how much of your upbringing do you blame on what you go through now?
What do you mean? Well, my father and my mother was never there. My father was always working. My mother was always running around wild with her friends and meeting guys on the internet. And my father, he was a locksmith and all this other stuff. He was never really there. So really, it's like me and my sister. I mean, we practically raised ourselves. Like,
But would you say that you grew up the way you were raised?
did I take with me in my adulthood what I learned in my childhood?
What I'm asking is this. Would you say that your life, the way you live it now, is based on how you're raised?
Secluded? Is that what you're saying? Pretty
No.
much. Pretty much. Like, I don't trust anybody because of my childhood. I don't trust nobody. I brought into my adulthood what I learned in my childhood. Is that basically like the secluded thing? I was that way when I was in high school. When I was a child, when I was a teen, I kept myself very secluded.
Like with me, I went through McFarland. I was adopted. They threw me back in the state, and then they wanted me back at the house. Went through another 4 institutions.
Oh yeah, I went through like
Going through all of that, you think, well, with his upbringing, then really he should be a bandit, a murderer, a rapist, whatever.
Oh, I
He
see
should
what
be off
you're
this.
saying.
He should be off his fucking rocker.
I see
But
what you're
yeah,
saying.
I don't, because I don't take my upbringing into how I grew up.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. See, like, and I had a conversation with my adopted father about this, and I told him, I said, I had a shitty childhood. I did. I had a shitty upbringing. Yes, I was adopted, but there's so much that happened. And I always told my adopted father, I'm glad I was never a drug dealer. I'm glad I never got in drugs. I'm glad I never dealt with alcohol, because the stuff that I went through, I have seen people turn to drugs and alcohol. I've seen people in prison. I've seen people kill themselves. I've seen people die because of what they went through. They let that, you know what I'm saying? So no, I don't think I let my upbringing.
So there it is, people. There it is for you. For all of you, we're not even going to call them millennials, because they have been doing this before the millennials were in the picture. When you go out there and you get on Oprah Winfrey or whatever not and go, well, my parents did this, so I have a shitty fucking life. No. You chose that. You could do something about it. We took our childhood and spun it differently. So you guys can too. Don't go out there and just say, well, I am this way because of my fucking parents. No, you're not. You're that way because you chose to be.
I mean, okay, another thing is, too, I understand the parent thing, because there are a lot of parents that teach their kids to bully other kids, to be mean to other kids. There are parents that do that, but yes, the person does have a choice. But a lot of it does, like, okay,
But you're then going on the bullying thing, though. There's parents that condone it. That they don't, and I don't mean like they say, yes, go do that. No, that's not what I'm saying. They don't punish the child for doing it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's when I blame the parents. But no, I do agree with you that yes, it is a person. But when they're doing somebody to somebody else, and the parents don't say anything, that's where you blame them.
And then we could also expand upon this with, well, I can't do anything. Why not? Because if I do, DCFS gets called. Let me tell you something, all right? My buddy came down. My buddy came down. He was hanging out with us, and he only lived just a couple of houses down the street. And my kids walked out to him and said, my daddy spanked me. I said, Joe, what were you doing? We weren't listening. All right. Well, don't you think you deserve a spanking? No, because he hit me. He's like, how'd he hit you? With the belt. He did, yeah. Oh, leave a mark? No, but it hurt. He goes, well, as long as he doesn't leave a mark, he's fine. And by the way, the buddy they were talking to is a cop. They had death put in them. They're like, oh my God, really? So What happens if I call DCFS? Well, then DCFS get involved, but I will also be right there saying, no, he never left a mark. He did exactly what he was supposed to. He disciplined them. That is still allowed. You just can't go out there and well off on your damn kids, but you can't discipline them. So for you parents out there, and for you millennials that are going to become parents, yes, you can still discipline your kids. You just can't leave a mark. You just can't go out there and beat on them. But yeah, you can discipline them.
Look who joined us. He wanted his mommy, so he got his mommy. Another thing is too, he's trying to be attention. Yeah. What was I gonna say?
He's like, Dad shooting a video. I'm using it a lot here when Dad shoots a video.
Where was you?
By the way, folks, here's Casey.
Hey, quesadilla burrito. Say hi.
This is her support dog.
Hey, baby.
He's a good boy. He's part of our family. But now you can see, too, why people want to come and pet him. He looks so cute. Don't do it. Don't do it.
He's my cutie. Yes, he's my cutie.
But going back to what we were saying there, yes, you can discipline your children. It is allowed. Don't let your kids tell you otherwise. Go step up, be the parent. And unless you're a complete fucking dickhead of parents that are like, fuck it, I don't care what my fucking son does.
Then you don't need kids.
If your kid's out there bullying someone, correct his ass. You can do it.
And if you're the type of parent that's going to pick drugs and alcohol over your kid, you're stupid. I'm sorry, but you are. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything because I've seen kids, even when I was in foster care, I remember this house that we were in where, and I was only there for a week until DCFS, took me and my sister out of this house, but this foster care house, dog shit on the floor, dog piss everywhere, just dirty, dirty, dirty. And we lived like that for a week in foster care. And we kept yelling DCFS, this house is bad. Finally they came in and removed us. And
it's happening in Illinois,
Hi.
In our state. And hopefully it goes along with other states. But right now, our system is being investigated.
Hey, buddy.
DCFS has been underneath investigation for 4 years, and it's still ongoing. They've been brought up on 2 different charges already. I'm not going to go into it. You guys can read the news. And there's still more that they're looking at and more they're finding. And I hope other states do this too. And along the foster parent lines, really most of these people that are themselves as foster parents are such good people. Bullshit.
I believe
you're taking a child in. Why? Because you get an extra $500 to $800 a month on that kid.
Yeah, and that's another thing I want to address too, because a lot of parents adopt, and I believe. I don't know if my sister would agree with this, but I do believe that me and Heather, sorry, Sissy, I'm sorry if you ever watch this. I do believe that me and her were adopted just so they could have money. Because, yeah, we had clothes, okay? Don't get me wrong. We always had school for new clothes every school year. But when we really wanted something, we couldn't have it. And my mom and father, sorry, I'm not calling him my dad. My mom and father had enough money to get what we wanted. But my mother would go out and drink and hook up with guys and,
Like I said, I'm not saying that all the foster families are this way.
Yeah, no, I see that.
But the majority of them are. It's all about just a little bit extra bling that can bring it.
And I love my adopted mom. She's in heaven now, or she passed away. But life, being adopted, and if you guys think that being adopted is so cool, let me tell you, it's not. I got bullied for being adopted. I got bullied because everybody said, "Oh, well, your mommy and daddy did not want you." Little did they know the whole story.
But that's also respected, though. There are foster families out there. And the one I went to out in Colorado, it's not the best one, per se, but it is the best one in my eyes. To a point. It has its flaws, yes. But when my foster mom or dad looked at me, they looked at me as part of the family. I wasn't disassociated. So that to me was a good thing. There's a lot of other shit that happened. I'm not going to go into that. A lot for legal reasons. But they at least looked at me as an equal footing. They didn't dissociate between their kids to my kid, to their kids to me. They didn't do that. And that's a good foster family. But a lot of the foster families out there, they don't do any of that shit. They will dissociate. There was one time I almost stabbed a fool, and I was only fucking 8 years old. I did. He was going after my brother. No, fuck that shit. It ain't happening. And by the way, that was a fib. I was like 4.
Oh, you lied. Can you get down? Can I put you down?
But, yeah, folks, trying to get my train of thought there. Yeah, the system is broken. I'm not going to say crooked because we don't know that, but it is broken. And because it's broken, it is crooked.
And here's another thing I want to point on, too. There are a lot of people, men and women, in prison that does not need to be there. There are a lot of people who are innocent waiting death row right now. And I don't think that's fair. And I feel sorry for them because they're missing so much of what, life has to offer. And, I mean, I've actually thought about becoming a pen pal. Like, writing to somebody who's in prison who has nobody.
That's a good and everything, but they're also there, people. As long as you research and figure out who's
I'm not
to,
just going to go into a cold turkey.
You don't want to go in and then all of a sudden...
I'm not going to go into, cold turkey. I want to make sure, I have my ducks in a row before I do all that. But no, I have actually thought about writing to somebody in prison, being a pen pal.
I'm going to bridge a gap here. Going on what you were talking about, and I'm going to go into one other subject here. And yes, we are going to go into defund the police, and fuck you people that fucking want to think that. My bro, he spent years and years in prison. I'm not going to expand on the extra years on why. But how he first got there, he got pulled over for a busted tail light. And when he got pulled over,
do I know this person?
He was nervous. And the cop says, "You all right?" He goes, "No, honestly, I'm just going to tell you right now, officer, I have 6 guys tied up in the back of my trunk right now." The officer goes, "You do? What?" He goes, "Yeah, well," he popped the trunk. Officer goes back there and he goes, "Okay, what are you doing?" He goes, "Look, I walked in tonight. They were molesting my 3-year-old daughter. All 6 of them were. And I was going to take them out and take them out to the woods and kill them. That was my plan, but here we are." The cop looked at him and says, "You know what? You're nice. Because if it was me, I would have killed them right then and there and then dragged them out to the woods and buried them." But my bro went to prison for it. Even though the cop even said, "Look, I told him, oh, yeah, I would have killed him. I mean, that's a nice guy right there. He let him live for a few more minutes." Actually, I shouldn't have said it that way. They still continue to live, obviously. But,
you better not. No.
But,
sorry, guys.
Let me train my thought again here. There are officers like that out there. It's far in between at this point, but back in the day, there were a lot of officers that, took circumstances in and said, "Hey, look, it's going to be all right. Just go home." Homeless on the street. You're looking for a warm place during the winter. Back in the day, an officer would have been like, "Look, I know what you're going to do. Don't bust the window just so we can haul you off to jail. Just hop in the squad car. We'll take you. You're good. All right, and we'll drop you off after the week's over, put you back out, and, like it was 12 hours. We'll pick you back up again, come back in." But there are officers that are like that. We are not all bad. I do so because I used to work out in law enforcement. But when you look at what's going on and you hear this defund the police movement and everything, who do you think is really going to have your interest? Who's got your best interests at heart? Who's really going to look out for you? Fine, defund your fucking local police department. But when it's gone, you better hope to God that your neighbor's got your back. Because I see it this way. We defund our police departments, the government's going to step the fuck in. You really want them watching out for you? With what the fuck we've been going through over the past 40 fucking years? You want to trust our government to look out for you? Good luck with that. Support your local police department. You're going to need them. Am I right?
Yeah. I agree with you.
She also left off too that her dad used to be her father used to be a local highway patrol, state patrol.
That was my uncle. He was the Kansas State Trooper, but my father was a Quincy cop. Yes. And then my mother made him quit when he got a gun pulled on him.
It's part of being part of the line of duty.
Yep.
That's what they're there for.
There went the dog.
To protect you. There's a fine line though. The actual job of law enforcement is to protect the public in general, not just one person. That is their role.
And then I had a cousin who was a cop for a week.